Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl Tanya, Lady T, and this is another edition of All Aboard. Let's get on this train. Listen, y'all, I wanted to come on this morning and really talk about something real quickly. I listen to Sirius XM radio. There's a show called The Joe Madison Show. Because as y'all know, and what I have told y'all, I am a political junkie. I really, really am. And I love politics. I'm very involved. I follow C-SPAN, the whole 9 yards. But anyway, for all of you all who have Sirius XM radio, his show comes on from 6 a.m. Eastern Time. From 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. every day, Monday through Friday, and it's on channel 126 if you have Sirius XM radio. And I like listening to his show. He can get a little rough. It ain't nothing that we can't handle. But he talks about issues that you're not going to hear on mainstream America, in the media. You're just not going to hear certain things, and you get an urban perspective of things. But anyway, I love his show because he does teachable moments. He does Black history. Just love that show. But anyway, today they were talking about a situation. Well, you all know we're in prom season, and young boys, young ladies, they come up with all these different creative ways to ask their potential date to the prom. So of course, we had a young man who asked a girl out for, to go to the prom with him. And the way he did it was deemed to be stereotypical, racist perhaps, sexist toward women. And this is the gist of what he asked her. He asked her, he said, he got a box of Kentucky Fried Chicken and sat it on top of her car and asked her, he said, "I prefer dark meat. Will you go to the prom?" ? Now they say the girl, she sort of, laughed it off. She sort of, laughed about it, and perhaps she might have been embarrassed. Well, of course, it stirred up some stuff, and people were upset about the way his approach. And then some people say, "Oh, why you gotta be so serious? It's just a prom date. That's what they do now. Why so serious about it? It was just a joke." She seemed to be okay with it. Now, when I first heard the story, I was like, well, daggone, people are, we can be so sensitive because the atmosphere is charged with racial profiling and all of that, and everything has its place. I totally get all that. But then the other part of me said, well, no, you know what? Sometimes we have to check these young people, and we also have to make things a teachable moment. I really, truly believe in that. I don't think that we should walk around so critical, but we have to understand young people's minds and stuff, they're still being developed. They don't have the fortitude to understand that what they do today can affect a generation tomorrow. And so I got to thinking about the thing, and I said, well, you know what? Actually, yeah, they need to be taught that, granted, you might not think it's gonna do them any harm, but if you don't check people with letting them know that, no, that's not politically correct, or that's sexist to women, if you don't check them when they're young, then it continues on as they grow into their adulthood. And I'm gonna give you a case in point. I was talking with my nephews, and it's amazing some of the things that they accept as terms of endearment. It's nothing for them to let their friends call them out of their names, to call them the N-word, and they're of a different race or persuasion. Oh, it's something that they totally accept now. Whereas back in the day, even in my time, oh no, homie didn't play that, because we knew what it was rooted from. So moving fast forward as it pertains to me, this is why you have to check young people, or just people in general, when they say something that's either sexist to women, degrading, bigoted, whatever. Years and years ago, and I'm going to be transparent talking about me and the importance of checking people and making things be a teachable moment. Now here it is, I'm working on my job, and I had to make a long story short, I was passing one of my co-workers at the file cabinet, and I brushed up against her, and you know, I said, excuse me, and she blurted out, oh, you can't touch me, I'm white and you're black. And I thought, I had to look over my shoulder in the ceiling under my feet to see, did she really just say that? And because I was so stunned that she said that, it was like, did my ears fail me? Let me see if I need to get the wax out. Well, she said it again. And it was like I clutched my imaginary pearls. Now, like I said, long story short, I went to my superiors and let them know what happened. And they talked to her. And, you know, it was, you know, a long thing. But I wasn't looking for the lady to be fired. It wasn't that for me. It was more so that, okay, if you say that to another person of my nationality, of my race, they may not be so forgiving. And so that's why it's important to let people know that, okay, you might can get away with it with that one over there or this one over there in that corner, but you might run up on the wrong one. Or as people would say, you might run up on the right one and say it to the wrong person, and you laying in the stretcher. 911 has been called. When you come to, you're in the ambulance in ICU. And I'm not being vulgar, but I think, you know, I know I'm off the beaten path talking about stuff like this, and I really don't like to go there on my channel. But I think it's important, if we don't discuss these things, it creates an underbelly. And so people, whether it be women, whether it be because you're in the minority race or whatever, you're going to continue to be underestimated, undervalued, and unmarginalized. So it's important that we have teachable moments with our young folk. It's important that we let them know, again, any and everybody across the board, some things are not okay. So for that, going back to this prom issue, you can be clever, you can be witty, you can be humorous, you can be statesmanly, and ask a woman or a young lady out to the prom without being sexist, without being racist, and not being stereotypical. You know, and so we can read all kinds of stuff into, you know, the stereotype that, you know, black folks like fried chicken, and, you know, he went there with asking about the fried chicken, and then the correlation of, you know, looking at women as being a piece of meat, you know, with the phrase, I prefer dark meat. You know, again, being sexist and belittling to women, that we're looked at as objects. And like I said, innocent enough, he nor she probably took offense to it. He was just trying to be creative in asking this female out to the prom. We all totally get it. But I also think, as parents, as educators, as mentors, as church leaders, we still should not miss the opportunity to have teachable moments as these young people's minds are being shaped. Because just like what happened to me maybe 15 plus years ago, no one ever probably checked her when she made that comment to me. No one probably ever checked her. So she's going on her whole life thinking it's okay to giggle, you know, and do that type of stuff as it relates to me as a black woman. But like I said, the reason why we need to make these teachable moments and check people is that, you know what, you might have been okay. And thank God for the Holy Spirit. Thank God for Jesus, that he kept me from striking out at her. Because see, what would have happened had I struck out at her, what she said to me would have been lost in smoke, because then they would have looked at my actions and I probably would have lost my job, and so a whole lot of host of things could have happened had she said it to the wrong person. So again, I don't want to make this long-winded, which I think I have, but I just wanted to speak on that. There are some issues that are tough. There are some issues that we may not want to talk about, but it's very necessary. You know, some people might say, oh, Lady T, why are you talking about something so cold? Listen, I live in this world. I may not be of it, but I live in it. And we are affected by things every day in our lives, whether we're personally affected, our children, our loved ones, co-workers, whatever. We have to be able to deal with these type of issues, overcome them, compromise, make it teachable moments. But again, I thought it important to come on real quickly this morning and just talk about that. That, you know, we women, young ladies, you're not pieces of meat. And you have to build a standard for yourself to say, you know what, that's not okay. And if we need to be bold enough to say, you know what, I'm flattered that you want me to go to the prom, but there's a way to approach a young lady. Again, you can be clever, witty, humorous, unique, a Renaissance man, and maybe just simply go up to the girl like they did back in the day. And I know we evolve and do things differently these days, but you can be all of that without being ugly and posing a harmful appearance to your community without having to do it in that way. So anyway, again, thank y'all so much for watching. May God bless you, and may the peace of the Lord be with you. Bye.